Colts. I am AK. We are back for your post-game or your primetime post-game NFL recap, instant recap. Just me. Usually it's just me whenever we do these recaps. Sometimes Butch or J-By or Edge will text, will jump in and join me. But, man, concluding week 5, huh? How about that? The Jacksonville Jaguars, Duval, or how, as Liam Cohen would say, Duval, with the emphasis on the A and not the U, because that's how Liam Cohen is. But big, huge win for the Jags. This game had everything. I mean, this thing, let's start off from the very beginning. Jags come out in their, what is it, the retro Prowler uniforms or whatever it is. That's what I'm talking about, Josh. We were just talking about that, dude. Like, we were just talking about that. Thank you for those listening to the podcast. Numbers are continuing to go upward and upward, so we thank you for everybody. If you are listening to the podcast, hit the follow button up in the right-hand corner and then leave a review, leave a rating. You know, we love doing this. It's one of the joys of our lives. But my goodness, this was one of those games where it's like you could see it starting to turn for the Chiefs, but the Jags in hilarious fashion. That touchdown at the end was just, it was as Trevor Lawrence of a drive as you could get. Like flashes of, wow, that's why that guy was the number 1 pick, but also like flashes of like, that's why that guy hasn't won the big one yet. So if you're a Jags fan, like shout out to the Jags. They were wearing the retro Prowler uniforms. The old school or the Mark Brunells, that whole thing back from the 90s, I think is when it was. And then the national anthem was pretty good. I think those guys were the City Limits or something, City Limits. But the national anthem, I was like, those kids look young. They could sing it. It was kind of cool. They've got Jackson DeVille flying in from the rafters before the game. So, I mean, Jacksonville, here's Ghostface. He says, as a Lions fan, looking forward to this weekend against Kansas City. Honestly, if we can keep up our scoring we could I don't think the Chiefs can score like they used to. I think the Lions are scary, dude. Ghostface. If you're a Lions fan, you got to feel good about yourself with the way the Bears look. The Vikings are imploding. The Packers tying the Cowboys, all that nonsense. To start the game, we had the sweet jerseys. Of course, we had the Kelce's interviewing Kelce's before the game. I can't be the only one that's like, I've had enough of the Kelce's. It's not that they're probably nice guys, but it's just enough's enough. And I think Jaguars fans, some of my favorites, just because you'll pan the crowd and like teal and black is just in gold, or there's something about those uniforms where it's just funny when you see an adults dressed in Jags and they have the big paw in their hands and they've got the Trevor Lawrence headband with the wig. Like there's nothing better than like Kansas City's pretty good too. I got to give Kansas City credit. Where they have the Mahomes headband with the faux hawk or whatever hairstyle Mahomes had for the longest time. I love seeing grown adults with the Trevor Lawrence headband and the wig on top. That just something about Jaguars fans doing that kind of stuff, or the big paw hand. I saw one guy had one paw in his hand. He was clapping. It was incredible. Like, that's why football is great. But we started off the week in week 5 with the 49ers. My team, the 49ers, check it out. Back here, check it out. The 49ers, completely decimated. And they go there and beat the Rams. We have a great game on Sunday morning. We have a great Sunday night game, and then we have a great Monday night game. So just, I know some of those games on the Sunday slate, they were blowouts, but you take the good games and put them in prime time. This is what you get. One thing we got to work on as a country, as a nation, we have to unify and get the Bengals and the Ravens off of Thanksgiving night. We've got to do something. Give us this game again. Give us Chiefs Jags. That was awesome. We cannot allow the Chiefs or the Bengals and the Ravens to beat us the Thanksgiving night. That's neither here nor there. That's not what we're here to talk about. Here to talk about, how we do things on this recap. We go for about 20, 25 minutes. Hey, LA, Josh, look, I know the group chat got real quiet, man, for the past 3 days until today. Y'all were trying to, till the Cowboys won. Then everything started popping off again. Nobody said anything whenever the Niners went up there into LA and put BTA to the Rams. You know how we do things on this show. This is the recap show. I have a leather-bound, rich mahogany book that I write my notes in during the game, and I go quarter by quarter. So we start off what we saw. Let's bring up the score here. Obviously, 31-28. The Jaguars keep pace with the Colts. If you're a Jags fan, you got to feel good. The AFC South, the South. Look, man, people were saying the AFC North is the laughing stock, which that was supposed to be the best division. Now it's looking like outside of the Titans. The AFC South went 4-0 this week. So everybody's laughing at the AFC South. Not so fast, my friends. Ha ha ha. Shout out Lee Corso. And the Chiefs fall to 2-3. Some people didn't have them there. I would say pretty good game for Mahomes. He had the one bad interception. Lawrence was you just watch Lawrence, and like I said, there's sometimes you'll be like, whoa, like that laser he threw, cover 2 shot to Brian Thomas down the sideline at the end of the game to set him up to get into position. He threw a laser the next pass. When he threw some ropes, you're like, wow. And then he'll get stepped on and he'll be crawling around on his belly like he's, doing a 5K mud run, and the game's going on, So, rolling around doing pencil rolls on the ground. So it's just, maybe he needed this win to get over the hump. But the Chiefs, this was a weird game for the Chiefs, because if you're a Chiefs fan, it's uncharacteristic. There was a turnover in the red zone. Mahomes tends to do that, though. I mean, didn't he do it earlier this year? Pretty sure he did it earlier this year, didn't he? Bad turnover in the yeah, was it the Chargers? Might have been the Chargers, where he's throwing picks in the red zone. Like, you can't do that. And also the penalties. We'll take a look at the team breakdown here in a second. But Mahomes led the Chiefs in rushing again. Trevor Lawrence led the Jags in rushing. 2 touchdowns. I mean, my gosh, Trevor Lawrence dual threat. Let's go. Tyquan Thornton led the Chiefs in receivings. Thomas Jr. led the Jags in receiving. Nick Bolton, golly, that dude's everywhere. I love watching Nick Bolton play football. I remember he's the guy at Missouri, right? Pretty sure. Yes, he was the guy whenever they drafted him. I was like, that guy's him and Tranquil, like, and the Jags defense, like, that's the other side of this thing. Turnovers one of the questions coming in was, can the Jags really live like this? Can they live with getting 3 turnovers in the it's the first time they've beaten the Chiefs in since 2009 for the Jags. But could they live off of getting 3 or more turnovers per game? That Lloyd had that pick 6. That was incredible. Reminded me of James Harrison back in the Super Bowl against the Cardinals. Navarro Bowman against the Falcons a couple, 10, 15 years ago. So, the Jags have based their success this season off of their defense. And it looked like for the longest time that was going to not be the case against the Chiefs, because the Chiefs don't beat themselves. And it seemed like this game, they beat themselves. Mahomes' uncharacteristic interception, lots of penalties, so, but let's go down first quarter. Here we go. Jags, their first 2 drives were awful in the first quarter. I think one of them was 3, maybe both of them were 3 and out. In Kansas City was up to their old, their old tricks with the triple, whoop-de-doo, circle, fire wagon, fake it to this guy, spin around, fake it to that guy, and then hand it to the other guy coming underneath. So Mahomes in the first quarter, I think on this touchdown drive, there was an all-out blitz on a 3rd and 9, and he heaved it up to Tyquan Thornton. Severely underthrown. Thornton made a good play to come back. But that was just one of those ones where Mahomes tried to show off his arm and he didn't have enough, but it was either going to be a catch or a PI. So that set him up to the 6-yard line, and then a couple plays later we get the Travis Kelce touchdown to go up 7-0 on a very controversial. Josh said Trevor can always run, but what's Jacksonville's? I mean, ETN had led the league, and I think he was having 98.5 yards rushing per game for ETN. So, Lloyd leads the NFL in INTs, and he's a linebacker. Remind me of that 2006 dude. That guy is everywhere. When they were playing the Niners last week, he was everywhere. That Lloyd, Devin Lloyd, I think is his name. So the touchdown to Kelsey, like, here we go. Here comes the Chiefs. Wonder, like they know the rules, they know how to skirt the rules, and they play on the line. Like, you can be mad at them. That, of course, there's the pick to the touchdown to Travis Kelsey. I think I got actually the hang on. Yeah, here we go. Here it is right here. Here's the touchdown play. So it's a pick play by Juju Smith-Schuster is on the outside. He runs a slant route, takes out the inside corner. And the Chiefs are notorious for this, right? The Chiefs are absolutely notorious for, running those goal line flat routes that have all kinds of motion and confusion. So the first touchdown, the Chiefs right out of the gate, it's like, and you could see all the Chiefs running over to the referee, be like, it was 1 yard, because within 1 yard, you're allowed to have contact. And when you look at the replay, the guy in the booth was like, yeah, I don't know about the Tony Romo does. He said, I don't know about that. They look like it was further than 1 yard. So, but of course, it's the Chiefs. That's what happens. So, anyways, that was controversial, but it could go either way. It was a judgment call. And second, the second quarter, that's when the Jags, in the second quarter, Trevor Lawrence, soon as we start the second quarter, Trevor Lawrence tries to go over the top on that quarterback sneak in the second quarter, gets it knocked out. And again, it's a Trevor Lawrence play. It's like, you do all the work to get down there, and when you need to make the play, Trevor Lawrence just kind of, doesn't get it done. So Bolton knocks it out. There's Bolton again. And the Chiefs get the ball. It's not a touchdown. They go, 97 yards right there. And then we get the Patrick Mahomes read option or speed option, whatever it was, and he zips it right into the end zone on a 5-play, 97-yard drive. So big play. I can't remember who the big play was too, but anyways, Mahomes had a rushing touchdown. And then Trevor Lawrence answers with a laser to Parker Washington to get to 14-7. That was a 13-play, 70-yard drive. So we're 14-7 going into half. Kansas City has 236 yards at the half. That's their most in a half by this season. So you're sitting here thinking, oh no, the Chiefs are back. Like, they're for real back. They played the Ravens last week and everything's fixed, but it turns out you play there. Anybody could score on the Ravens. The Houston Texans have been averaging like 12 points a game. They went up there and put up a 50 burger on the Ravens. So, don't use the Ravens as a measuring stick of who's back. Now, it does seem like the Chiefs do have some rhythm back on offense, but so we move into halftime, 14-7 at the half. And in the third quarter, we get Trevor Lawrence with his 10-yard rushing touchdown, 7-play, 87-yard drive. That drive actually was fueled by a huge play by Travis Hunter on that drive in the third quarter, with about 9 minutes to go. Travis Hunter, Trevor Lawrence threw it up way downfield. I can't remember. I think it was on a third down. But anyways, before Lawrence had the rushing touchdown, it was Travis Hunter who made a big jump ball play. That's the first kind of Travis Hunter had a pretty good game this game. Like, he was noticeable, and so was Brian Thomas Jr. Like, they were noticeably making plays. So they lost their tight end too, though. Yeah, Josh, I 100% agree. I think this is the first game, and I've watched a couple of Jags games where I've been like, And Travis Hunter made a few plays on defense too. So, I'm rooting for Travis Hunter. Like, I hope he does well. But this game was for real the first time I was like, okay, that jump ball he made in the third quarter to keep the drive alive before the touchdown that Trevor Lawrence had was huge. So we're 14-14. Here come the Chiefs. Devin Lloyd. Here it is right down there, ladies and gentlemen. So we get tied. The Chiefs are on the doorstep again in the third quarter. Devin Lloyd, he's on the front side A gap, bluffing his blitz, Devin Lloyd, and he falls back to the backside right into the throwing lane of the inside receiver slant. And he picks it off, and then my wife even was watching, goes, that guy's slow. Does he play defense? And I'm like, he does play defense, but that's his third interception in 2 games. So what a game. Like, Devin Lloyd, let's go. So then we go to the fourth quarter. Jacksonville's up 21-14. You're thinking, holy cow, they're going to do it, right? They're going to do it. And then we start the fourth quarter, and you're like, here, Jacksonville has all the momentum. And CO Stats, you know him, our dad, had just gotten through texting my mother, hey, this is usually when Trevor Lawrence makes a stupid mistake, and lo and behold, he throws a pick. But the pick, again, was not without controversy. Of course it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, of course it wasn't. But let's take a look at the pick real quick. Boom. So here we go, bottom of your screen. It's a little, it's like a little pick play where the inside receiver runs a flat, the outside receiver runs a slant. You try to hit the outside receiver when he hits a slant. But old number 21 here looks like the inside corner. Let's see. No, he's the safety walking down. He just completely flattens Parker Washington. Corner falls off. McDuffie picks it off. Trevor Lawrence everybody's looking at the ref like, how is that not pass interference? But and they just like, oh, just two guys ran into each other. It's like, that's okay. You could make that case for anything. So, it's 21-14. You think the Jags have all the momentum, and then boom, another controversial play that goes in favor of the Chiefs. And then so they score. Kareem Hunt scores his first of 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he scored another touchdown later. And then Cam Little, the Jags get a Cam Little field goal, 52. That guy's got an absolute cannon for a leg, by the way. 24-21 Jags. Then you get a 12-play, 86-yard drive out of the Mahomes and the Chiefs, 6 minutes off the clock. They cap it off with a 2-yard Kareem Hunt touchdown. Then Harrison Butker kicks the ball out of bounds. So the Jags get the ball at the 40. And then we're sitting here thinking, okay, everybody's thinking the same thing. We're thinking, okay, can the Jags really do this? Can the Jags? This is Trevor Lawrence legacy drive. This is why you drafted him number 1. And then boom, he got a delay a game. So he hits Brian Thomas Jr., throw of his life down the sideline, looks like cover 2, right into the hole. Cover 2 hole shot is what they call it. One of my favorite throws to make as a quarterback was a cover 2 hole shot. You got 2 high safeties and the DBs playing kind of press coverage, and you get an outside release on your receiver and you just zip the ball in there. It's one of the most satisfying throws ever before the safety can get there. So he throws an absolute laser to Brian Thomas. Great catch by Brian Thomas. Then he comes back. I think it was to Parker Washington, hits him for a big throw right after that. So he makes 2 great throws. Then he does it again. Trevor Lawrence, he gets to delay a game on second down. Like he's trying the hard count, and then all of a sudden, beep, and he might have taken a sack too. But anyway, so it's second and like 13 with the delay of game. And then they run a little screenplay to De'Ami Brown. And then they get pass interference in the end zone when he throws it up to Brian Thomas. Good call. I mean, that was the call, right call. And then we get the touchdown run again of like, this is the most Trevor Lawrence / Jag things ever. where the guard steps on Trevor Lawrence's foot, and then he rolls around for a second or two, and then he scores. So it was ridiculous. So let's hold on. Let's play the tape right here real quick. Let's just look at this thing.
First and goal with 30.
We don't want to. So yeah. So he takes the snap, motion. Here comes Travis Hunter across on the motion. Everything saying action to the right. We're going to play action. Nope. Steps on, falls down, gets up, looks up, and there's nobody there. And he just runs it into the end zone. So then we're all thinking the same thing. We're like, oh my gosh. There's way too much time. What was there, like 16 seconds? Everybody's collectively being like, ask the Buffalo Bills how much time that is. So, anyways, it was just a wild game. It was, for the Jacksonville Jaguars, kind of the Liam Cohen era. I mean, he's got to be the best start for a Jacksonville head coach in a long time. But they get the win 31-28. Higher scoring than, I mean, you watch this game and you're kind of like, I didn't think it was that high scoring after watching the game, but, there was over, 800 yards of total offense, somewhere around there. But, again, it goes back. We've been talking about this all week. This Jags team, could they do it with their defense? And I don't know if their offensive line is really good too. They have the highest graded PFF offensive line, I think, this year. So they've got good people up front. Their defense is opportunistic. And it's just a matter of, is Trevor Lawrence, can their offense do enough? But we say it every year. If you win the turnover, I mean, that's the Bills. The Buffalo Bills have won the turnover battle 26 games in a row before last night? They'd won 15 games at home. So the Buffalo Bills, you win the turnover battle, you win the game. So, especially if you turn it into points. But I love looking at the box score quickly. Trevor Lawrence was 18-25, 221, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. Mahomes was 29 of 41, 318, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. Both of them bad interceptions. Mahomes led him with rushing again, 60 yards. Trevor Lawrence led him with rushing, 54 yards. Brian Thomas, leading receiver for the Jags at 80. Tyquan Thornton, 90 for the Chiefs. Man, Devin Lloyd, play of your life. Nick Bolton led the defense for Kansas City, 12 tackles. That guy's everywhere. I love it. I love that guy. He's fun to watch. All right, team stats before we get out of here. First downs, the Chiefs had 26, Jags had 21. I love looking at this because every time you can tell, the play, what ended up happening, it kind of tells you the story. Both of them on third down were 5 of 9. Chiefs had 63 plays, Jags had 54. Total yards, Chiefs had 476. So, I mean, this is no, the Chiefs put up some numbers now on this defense, and this defense have been, I don't know about stifling, but just really opportunistic. So the Jags had 319 total yards. We just went over passing and rushing numbers. The red zone, both these teams were really good in the red zone. Chiefs were 4 for 5. Jags were 3 for 4. Penalties. Here you go. Here are the penalties. Chiefs had 13 penalties for 109 yards. And so all the people who say, look, the Chiefs get all the calls, this and that, or, they're going to be pounding their chest about the Chiefs. See, the Chiefs don't get all the calls, and the Jags had 4 for 25. So turnovers, again, the one by Kansas City resulted in a pick six. And then you had, was there a fumble? Yeah, there was a fumble lost. Who fumbled? I don't even remember who fumbled for the Jags now. I have to go back and look at that. And then, obviously, the pick by Trevor Lawrence. And then time of possession, Chiefs had 31-59, Jags 28-01. So, let's take a look at who fumbled. Let's see. Does it even tell you who fumbled? Oh, Trevor Lawrence. He fumbled? When was that? I don't remember when he fumbled. Huh. I watched the whole game. I can't remember when he fumbled. Huh. Karlaftis. Was it a sack? I don't know. Anyways. So Trevor Lawrence had 2 turnovers. That's I don't know. I watched the Jags and I'm like, I'm still not sold on Trevor Lawrence. He will make 1 or 2 plays a game that just put his team in a bet when you need it least, when you have the momentum, you cannot throw a pick on your own. That's the Jordan Love. That's what Jordan Love does. That's why I'm still out on Jordan Love. They're both super talented. They're huge, huge arms. So, but anyways, but yeah, entertaining game. All the primetime games this week were phenomenal. So again, we cannot have Thanksgiving night be the Ravens and the Bengals. Can't have it. So, anyways, that's the recap. That's all the notes I had written down in the book. We've gone over the box score. We talked about the scoring plays. We talked about what we liked before the game, about the uniforms. I mean, so J.J. Watt was out there saying the Jags have the best uniforms. Come on, J.J. Watt. You mean to tell me you watched the creamsicle uniforms and the Seahawks neon blue uniforms, the throwbacks with the silver helmets, and you're going to come out here and say the Jags have the best throwback uniform? No. No. Absolutely not. Sorry, J.J. Watt. The QB and the QB there in 2016 was the same guy. Wait, which guy? Where? But anyways, this was so yeah, the Chargers Broncos still on top of the AFC West and the AFC South. Colts and Jags right up there. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the recap of the Monday Night Football game. And let's see right here. Okay. Let's get let's go ahead and tell you where to find us on all these social medias, where we put up all kinds of posts and rankings and all that stuff. So, here's BMO. There he is. Is the NFL on his head right now? Allen, Jackson, Mahomes, Hurts, Burrow, all trash. Drake Maye. Mac Jones. Don't you forget Mac Jones now, BMO. Don't you forget Mac Jones. That is funny. So you've got what about Daniel Jones? Do you need a Jones in your last name to be elite? So, but yeah, Lamar Jackson, Mahomes, Hurts, Burrow. I mean, we need to do is take a look at the division leaders. You know what I'm saying? Take a look at the division leaders and see which quarterbacks are leading the division. That would be fun. That's a fun exercise. So right here we got Daniel Jones and Justin Herbert. Mac Jones is leading the NFC West. NFC North is Jared Goff. That's what we need to do. We need to get all division leading quarterbacks in. Ladies and gentlemen, you can go find us anywhere on these social medias. Just type in the Millie Goats on TikTok or on Instagram or YouTube or Twitter or X, and then look for our podcast anywhere you find your podcast. And then go. We try to put out during football season. We're doing. Let's see. We're doing at least 4 to 5 episodes a week. So that's how much we're doing on the podcast front. We love talking ball. Come talk ball with us 4 or 5 days a week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to go to bed. I love talking football. It's one of my favorite things to do. So subscribe, like. That'll help us keep doing this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, everybody have a nice Tuesday.